Time now for Trivia Tracks, with yours truly, Price Robertson. Sponsored by Ouachita Valley Respiratory Care and Beth Smith at Edward Jones. Known for his outspoken, combative personality, this esteemed writer of science fiction was described by screenwriter Robert Bloch as the only living organism I know whose natural habitat is hot water. Harlan Ellison published more than 1,700 short stories, novellas, screenplays, comic book scripts, teleplays, essays, and a wide range of criticism covering literature, film, television, and print media. Born in Cleveland, Ohio on May 27, 1934, Ellison was of Jewish extraction. His family subsequently moved to Painesville, Ohio, but returned to Cleveland in 1949 following his father's death. Ellison frequently ran away from home, taking an array of odd jobs. He claimed years later that this was due to discrimination by his high school peers. In 1947, a fan letter he wrote to Real Fat Comics became his first published writing. He attended Ohio State University for 18 months before being expelled. According to Ellison, the expulsion was for hitting a professor who had denigrated his writing ability, and over the next 20 or so years, he sent that professor a copy of every story that he published. Before long, he became an active member of the science fiction fandom and published his own science fiction fanzines. That's fan and magazine combined into one term. After serving in the Army for 2 years, Ellison relocated to Chicago, where he edited Rogue magazine. During his stint in the Army, he published his first novel, Web of the City. Once in Hollywood, he sold scripts to such TV shows as Route 66, The Outer Limits, Burke's Law, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Star Trek, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and The Flying Nun. His script to the Star Trek episode, The City on the Edge of Forever, has been considered the best of the 79 episodes in the series. He co-wrote the screenplay for the 1966 film The Oscar. That same year, Esquire magazine mentioned a heated encounter between the young writer and Frank Sinatra in an article entitled, Frank Sinatra Has a Cold. He was then hired as a writer for Walt Disney Studios, but was fired on his first day after he was heard in the studio commissary joking about making an animated porn movie featuring Disney characters. He continued to publish short fiction and non-fiction pieces in various publications, including some of his best-known stories. In some of his writings, he used pseudonyms such as Cordwainer Bird and Nalra Nosild. For 2 years, starting in 1968, he wrote a regular column on television for the Los Angeles Free Press. Ellison's column examined television's impact on the politics and culture of the time, including its presentations of sex, politics, race, violence, and the Vietnam War, which he opposed. Given his fiery temperament, Ellison filed numerous grievances and attempted lawsuits. During a contract dispute over Ace Buck's printing cigarette ads next to his articles, he sent them dozens of bricks, postage due, followed by a dead gopher. In another lawsuit, he took the makers of the original Terminator film to court on the grounds that they used material from an episode of The Outer Limits, which Ellison had written called Soldier. Later in his career, he served as a creative consultant for the 1980s version of The Twilight Zone and later Babylon 5. Had a regular segment on the Sci-Fi Channel series Sci-Fi Buzz, and was a frequent guest at sci-fi conventions. Married 5 times during his lifetime, he died on June 28, 2018, at the age of 84. Ellison's literary estate is currently executed by Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski. Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia? Then join me every Monday through Friday morning for Trivia Tracks on Fox Sports Camden 97.1.